Hey guys, you see I'm here in my office. You know what that means. We are going to be checking out a video creation platform today. And this one is one that you have been begging me to try. It's called Animaker, and it's just like a lot of other platforms I've reviewed on my channel, like Toonly or Powtoon or Toonly. This one is all about creating cartoon style videos for your business or any other marketing services. And I can see why you've been asking me to do a product review of this one, because I played around with it a little bit this morning and the tutorial for Animaker is terrible. It skips over so many things. It goes by so fast. So I really had to kind of like play around with Animaker and figure out some things, how to use it that they did not explain in the tutorial. And I imagine that's why a lot of you wanted me to look at this video, because I kind of like to go through on a granular level and explain things. So let's dive right into it. If you're new here, welcome. My name's Jenn Jager. I own a professional video production company called Plum Productions. And I also have this YouTube channel, My Video 101, where I help you make better DIY videos. I do product reviews like online video softwares like this one we're going to talk about today, and also content ideas and some technical tips for you as well. So if that sounds interesting to you, make sure you hit that subscribe button. So you know how this goes. I'll be talking to you here on camera, and then you'll also simultaneously be seeing what I'm seeing on my computer screen as I make my first Animaker video. So let's dive right in. All right, so I have signed into Animaker. I just used my Facebook account for this. We're gonna hit create video, and right away, all of these different templates pop up, which is kind of cool. A lot of them are very specific, which could be really useful to you if you were trying to cater to a very particular business, either whether that's your own or for a client. But I'm gonna scroll back up to the top, and we are gonna just do the blank template. Now, I like to use a blank template because it really gives you a better sense of how much you're able to customize your video and how easy it is to add or subtract elements. And I think it just gives you a better gauge about the quality of the platform, as opposed to a template where they've kind of obviously created templates that play to the strengths of the platform. So with the blank template, you really can't hide anything. So that's what we're going to use. So I'm just going to hit that use button to open that first blank template. Now, one thing I've noticed about Animaker is that it's a little bit slow. I'm on a fiber internet connection, so my internet speed is really fast, but Animaker takes a lot of time to kind of load everything. But I can kind of see why, because the characters and other elements that animate within Animaker they're like heavy files. They do a lot of different stuff. So in order to get all those features and functions that Animaker offers, it definitely slows down the platform a little bit. In the end, we'll see if we think it's worth the time it took to create our video. So the first thing that pops up is this tutorial, and I just want to touch on it a little bit. It's 11.5 minutes long, and it encompasses what at first glance seems to be everything you need to know about Animaker, but once you start using Animaker, you realize it doesn't tell you everything. And the other thing I don't like about this tutorial is that different sections are all included in one video. So if you wanted to go back and be like, how do I make the character do a lot of different emotions? Then you have to scrub through this whole video to find that section. It's so cumbersome and annoying. Instead of them just making it individual videos, I can't understand why. And then the other thing is that, like I said, it goes really fast and it skips over some important steps. So this tutorial, while it's kind of helpful a little bit when you first get into Animaker, it is not that helpful when you're really trying to create something custom and special. You're kind of on your own. So let's just close right out of this tutorial because she doesn't do much for us. Now let's look at Animaker and kind of just the way that the platform is laid out. It's pretty similar to a lot of other platforms we've talked about here on my channel. It also looks a lot like PowerPoint. So here in the upper left corner, you have your different scenes. If you wanted to add a new scene, you just click this piece of paper. If you want to delete it, you just click the trash can. Down here at the bottom of the screen is our timeline. So this is how you can tell at what point in your video different elements are popping in or out. Over here on the right are all the different elements you can add to your video. So it starts with this blank white background in your workspace, and then you can add all these characters. You can add props, you can add scenes. So these are the backgrounds where all of your animation will take place, text, Numbers, this is like great for infographics. This one here is called special effects, and it's actually pretty cool. It's something I haven't seen in any other platform, and we're gonna use this and we'll talk about it later. And then of course you've got music and sound effects. Here is a screen for you to upload your own images, sounds, or voiceovers. And then this last one is the transition effects that you will use between your scenes. So let's start here at the top. Now, if you've ever seen any of my editing videos, you know that you got to start with the voiceover, the sound first. That's how you match up how all the different actions are happening on your screen. You match it up to the voiceover instead of the other way around. So let's add voiceover. I've already gone ahead and uploaded a MP3 file that I created for the purpose of this video. So let's lay it out and then we can get started with the animation. Now, this is one of the things that the tutorial skipped. It didn't talk at all about adding voiceover, and I kind of had to go figure it out for myself. So let's click on the import file and click voiceover, and there are, I actually uploaded it twice, there is my voiceover. And now if I want to add this voiceover, this is where it gets a little tricky. Draw your attention down here to the timeline, bottom left, and click on the musical notes. So this is the timeline for your soundtrack. Now what you want to do is grab your voiceover, click it, and drag it down into that timeline. That is how you get that there. And that is very important information that the tutorial neglected to share with us. So there it is. Now what this did was it dragged in my entire voiceover, which is 18 seconds long, and I know that I'm going to want different scenes throughout the course of my voiceover. But what Animaker does is it makes it really simple to time out your voiceover scene by scene. Let me try to explain how you do this. So let's look down again at the bottom left corner. You can see this 10 seconds here, okay? So basically, this 10 seconds is the default length of our scene, and I can make it shorter or longer by clicking the plus button or the minus button. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cue my playhead up to the top, the beginning of my video, and I'm going to listen to my voiceover, and I'm going to see how long it takes to get to where I want the voiceover to stop. So let's hit the play button.
Did you know that you can reach billions of people worldwide by posting?
Okay, worldwide is where I wanted to switch, and that was at about the 3.5 second mark. So what I want to do, unfortunately, I can't shorten the time of the scene, the length of the scene, by half seconds. It's only by full seconds, which is kind of annoying. So I'm going to go to 4 seconds, and then let's watch that again, play it again.
Did you know that you can reach billions of people worldwide by...
Okay, so what I'm going to do to adjust that is I'm going to just drag my voiceover down a little bit, about half a second, so that it ends on the word worldwide.
Did you know that you can reach billions of people worldwide?
Okay, perfect. Okay, so now let's go and hit this little object timeline. That's the little face here. And now we're going to start adding visual elements. So the line is, do you know that you can reach billions of people worldwide? So let's go over to scenes and pick a background. I'm going to click this. It's really cool. It's not just a background. It looks like things are falling, and I love that. It's like a sky. And then let's click on over to objects, the props they call them, and I want like a globe. And I think I saw one in here earlier. There we go. So now I click and drag this. Now here it is in my first scene, and I can resize it, of course. And so let's just hit the play button and see how that looks.
Did you know that you can reach billions of people worldwide by...
Okay. Now something I forgot to do right off the bat with this, and that's super important, is to save your project. Because if you have to click away from it for any reason, you're going to lose everything. I learned that the hard way this morning. So let's just click that save button now. Save. Yes, I would like to save. And then over here it says Untitled Project up at the top. And I'm going to do this, and I'm going to call it Animaker Trial. let's stop that. Okay, let's hit that globe. Now you can see with the yellow bar here, this is how long that my globe is going to be on the scene, and I can trim it by just grabbing these handles. And what you can do is you can choose for it to come in different ways. So right here, see these two fields? They both say no effect. The first one is how the globe will come in, and the second one is how the globe will disappear. So let's pick a really cool effect. I like the pop-up ring because it's round like our globe. And then you can change the duration of the animation, so it can either come on really slow or really fast. And the only way to know if we like it is to preview.
Did you know that you can reach billions of people worldwide by...
Great. Okay.
That you can reach billion.
Okay, so what we want to do is add some text to that as well. By clicking this type your text here, we are going to add a text box. And you can see here there's a lot of different, if this would ever load, there we go. You can see there's a lot of different font options. So I have to say that Animaker's got a lot of really great font options. And the other thing is that you can upload your own fonts, which we've seen in other platforms as well. But there's so many good ones in here that I'm just gonna pick one. Let's see. All right, we're just gonna use this. I can change the color of the font. I kind of like the black, but I just want to click through just to make sure we're not missing anything. The other thing is that you can put a hex code in and get a custom color, which you know I love. All right, and then the other thing is I want this to be all caps. And then we can choose how it's gonna come in. Let's pick, enter from the top, so it's gonna slide down. All right, let's preview this whole thing.
Billions of people worldwide.
I love that. That looks so cute. So what I want to do is add a new scene. So of course I click this paper up here, and there's a new scene here. And what I love about Animaker that I noticed before is that it continues my voiceover in the next scene right where the previous one left off. So again, I'm going to play this second scene just so I can hear the audio and determine how long the scene needs to be to match the voiceover. So here's that voiceover you can see in the sound timeline. We're gonna hit play.
By posting a video to YouTube? It's true.
All right, posting a video to YouTube is where I want the scene to end.
By posting a video to YouTube?
So that only needs to be 2 seconds long, so I'm gonna make this shorter.
By posting a video to YouTube?
Great. Okay, so now let's add a scene where people are watching the video on YouTube. Let's do a home scene. Let's choose. Now you can see here some of these are on the upgraded version. I'm on the free trial version right now. So anything that has a green bar underneath it is an upgraded item, whether it be a character, whether it be a prop. So we are a little bit limited in our selection. But what I do like about this, you know, showing me what I'm missing out on with the upgraded version is that it helps me decide if I would be willing to upgrade, because I think in Toonly, they just showed you on the $67 version of Toonly, they just showed you what you could use within that $67 platform, which is kind of nice because you don't waste your time liking something that isn't included in your version. But at the same time with Toonly, if I wanted to upgrade, I have no idea what else I would be getting in terms of scenes or characters or anything else. So I do kind of like that I get a little preview of what an upgraded, better version of Animaker would include. So let's pick, here we go, like a home scene. Let's choose a character. And if I wanted to pick adults, there's very few that are included in the free version, which fair enough, you can't really blame them, right? So there's just these 4. I'm gonna pick this woman and I'm gonna put her in the room where I want her. I'm gonna scale her up. So if you click the enable property button under more options, this window pops up, and this is all the actions that she can do. Now, she is a teacher. That is her character. So she is doing a lot of school related activities, but then there's also more neutral things as well. I did see one in here earlier where she is on a tablet. Where is she? There she is. She's using a tablet and she's posting a video to YouTube. So again, I can choose how I want her to come in. This is such a short scene, it's only 2 seconds, so I'm just gonna leave everything as it is on the screen. All right, so now I've got my first 2 scenes. What I wanna go back and do is add some of those special effects that we talked about earlier in the video that I promised you we'd take a look at. So I'm gonna use it on that first scene where it says billions. And let's go on over to the special effects tab. And there's all these like cool little like treatments that you can add to your video. And of course the ones in green are upgrades and the ones with the white background are free. So let's just pick something. Let's see, let's try this one. We're gonna drop it over here. Look at how cute that is. Let's preview.
Did you know that you can reach billions of people worldwide?
Isn't that effect so cute? I haven't seen that in any other platform, so I really, really love that. Let's add another scene, and I'm gonna show you a little bit more what the characters can do because it does do some really cool stuff here in Animaker. Now let me show you how the characters work. You can click through or scroll through and see all these different actions that they can do in different environments. So this character happens to be like a fashion designer, but she does other things. So here she is working on a laptop, which is what I want. Now, I've clicked that. Now she's working on the laptop. Now draw your attention up. So here's 63. That's how many different things she can do. But within the one I've selected, she can do 9 different expressions. So that means she's gonna be working on her laptop, but doing different activities. She could be chatting online, bored, sending an email, happy. Let's see what she's doing happy. Chatting. She has chat boxes coming up. Commenting means it's just kind of a one-way chat. Giving star ratings. Liking social media posts. So you see the little thumb that came up here. And the last one, she's waving. So let's do one where she's just kind of happy on the laptop. We want to set her so she's on the floor. And the line is, it's true, nearly 2 billion people watch YouTube every month. Okay, so there's other things that these characters can do, and I just want to show you how it works because it's a little tricky with Animaker. This is something that I've seen in Powtoon where you could have one character go from happy to sad to confused to frustrated or any different emotions. In Animaker, you can kind of do that too, but it's very tricky. It's a little glitchy, so let's just dive into that and I'll show you what I mean. So what we want to do is select our character, and this little box pops up, of course, more options. We're going to hit this button. It's called the record button. And so right now we have her sitting in her laptop and she's happy. That's what this is called. Now let's hit start, and we can add a new expression. So now again, we're not in the big bulk properties file, we're in the sub file where she's only on the computer, and these are the options we can have her do from here. We cannot go back to that bulk folder and have her do something completely different. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna have her liking a video. So I'm gonna click that, I'm gonna add pin. And so here she should be liking the video. So let's click out of that and see if that worked.
It's true. Nearly 2 billion people watch
there we go.
Every month.
So let's go back to let's go back to her here, and we can see her again on the timeline. These pins, now if you see where my mouse is very, very low at the bottom, I can slide these down. So this is where she's going to be liking the video. Let's put it maybe right around here. I'm going to move this pin down this way. And then what I want to do is have her have her slide in from the right. Let's see if we can do that. Okay. So this is another thing about Animaker which doesn't make me happy. I can't have her animate in and change her expressions in the same scene. I don't know why. It just won't let you do that. I don't know. It's a little frustrating because I think both of those things are very cool elements, but if you can't use them together, you don't really have a great sense of control. So yeah, thumbs down on that. That's kind of a bummer. So now let's add a transition between these scenes as well. And what if we do wipe to right top? That's kind of cool. Okay. All right, so I've created those first 3 scenes. I'm gonna just knock out the rest really quick, and then we'll come back and talk about music and pricing and exporting and all that stuff. All right, guys, I just gotta stop in here and tell you what just happened, which is that the screen froze and I lost that entire last scene that we just built because I neglected to save it after we created it. There's no autosave apparently on Animaker. I'm really frustrated with this platform right now. So I'm gonna go back and rebuild what we just did, finish it up, save along the way, and then we'll talk more. Okay, so I made that scene. Now let's play with the camera for the next scene. In other videos, I've kind of explained this, so I don't want to go too far into detail with this, but basically what the camera is it's almost like you have to imagine that there's a camera recording your workspace, and it can zoom in or zoom out on different parts of your workspace. So let's give this one a whirl. You know, Animaker's been pretty tricky in terms of some basic features, so I can't even imagine what the camera feature is going to feel like, but let's try it. So to do that on Animaker, we're going to hit this button here, and I haven't really played with this yet, so we're going to learn together. I don't really know what that does. Let's see.
Aged 35 and up are the fastest.
Oh, wow. Okay. So here's that camera, and I guess when I scale it up, that's showing you how close the camera is going to get. So this is what's going to be in my viewpoint once I'm done zooming in. This is the duration it's going to zoom, and I can slide that down to later in my scene. This is pretty interesting. Let's try this.
Aged 35 and up are the fastest growing YouTube audience. So what are you waiting?
All right, so I like that. It's gonna be the fastest growing YouTube audience. So that camera effect is really cool, and what you can do is add more camera movements on one scene, so it goes from one area to the next to the next. But let's create my last scene, and then we're gonna come back, talk about music, we're gonna talk about export options, and we're gonna talk about pricing, and then I'll give you my final thoughts. Okay guys, so I've created all of my scenes, and now I want to go back in and add some music. So let's check out that music library. Let's click those music notes to add some music. Anything in green is not included with our free trial version of Animaker. So we're just going to listen to the ones here in white. Let's have a listen. All right, so the music tracks are not great, but if you notice, they are sorted by mood, which is good. In a lot of apps and platforms like this that I review, one of my biggest gripes is that the music is just kind of thrown in there and you have to go through every single track to find one that you like. Here in Animaker, they've done some sorting for you, which is great. So I've selected my track and we're just going to drag it into the timeline. So I've selected the musical notes timeline here, and then we're going to grab this one. It's called Saturday Night. We're going to drop it right here at the beginning. Okay, now let's watch the whole video. I'm going to play this yellow button here. I'm going to play from the start, so we're going to hit the orange. Did you know that you can reach billions of people worldwide by posting a video to YouTube? It's true. Nearly 2 billion people watch YouTube every month, and adults aged 35 and up are the fastest growing YouTube audience. So what are you waiting for? Get recording and post that first video. Okay, let's of course save it. Okay, so I hit the preview button because I am satisfied with my video, and now it seems to be rendering. Let's just give it a minute. This is kind of how all these platforms go. And I'm gonna hit that export download button. So export video. I can go right to YouTube or I can download as a file. Oh, if I want to download as a file, I need to be using a paid plan. Fair enough, you can't export the video without paying for Animaker, which of course, why would they let you do that for free? I don't blame them one bit. All right, now let's talk about pricing with Animaker and how it compares to other platforms that are like this. Here is the pricing structure for Animaker. There's a lot of different versions that they offer of the platform at different price points with different features. You know, the highest end version, which is $39 a month if they bill you annually, $59 if you get billed monthly, allows you 30-minute videos, which is kind of a long time, tons of characters and props, and let's see if it tells us what, oh yeah, full HD, and standard definition quality. If you want the HD version, you're gonna have to upgrade to the business plan or at least the startup plan, which starts at $19 a month. What's interesting to me is they don't offer a 4K export version, which, you know, most of the time you don't really need 4K, but I like to have the option if it's available. In this case, it's not. All right, so what do I think about Animaker and its pricing structure? I have to say, of all the cartoon type video creation platforms I've reviewed on my channel, this one has the best backgrounds, props, characters. It had that cool special effects where I had that neat little like lines coming off my first scene with the globe. It has lots of fonts and you can upload your own fonts. The characters do tons of different expressions, and the music library even was sorted into different categories, so you didn't have to like click through a million different tracks just to find what you wanted. And another thing that a lot of you have asked me about is Arabic text, or text that reads right to left as opposed to left to right. And I did notice, if you look here, when you click on the text tab, they do have a beta version where it's going right to left. I haven't tried it to know how glitchy it is, but it is there, and they're obviously developing it, so you'll be happy to hear about that. And yeah, it's got the camera movement. I mean, it has a lot of bells and whistles. So now let's talk about what I don't like about Animaker. I don't really know where to start. This is by far the glitchiest platform I've ever used, ever. I almost quit this video 2 times, maybe 3 times, because the screen would freeze and then I would lose all of my work. Earlier this morning, I tried shooting this video and their website went down in the middle of me creating a video on their platform. So it's super unreliable. It's not stable, which is like so incredibly frustrating. Everything takes forever to load. And I hate to say it, but I have to give Animaker a thumbs down. And it's a shame because the idea for this platform is awesome. Whoever created the props, the scenes, the design work is really great, and they should be commended for their work because they obviously put a lot of thought into what someone like me or you might need in a platform like this. Whoever coded this site really needs to find another job because it flat out does not work. It does not work. This website doesn't work. For the pricing, you know, it's much more expensive than Toonly, and yeah, it does a lot cooler things than Toonly does, but if you're trying to make money by creating videos for a client, time is money, and this platform takes too dang long for you to create anything. So I'm sorry, Animaker. If you guys see this video, just that is my honest feedback. This video is obviously not sponsored. I hope that Animaker kind of gets their stuff together and can really execute on the ideas that they have, because it's got awesome stuff in here. And if you have the patience and you really saw some features in my video that you really liked, maybe go ahead and buy Animaker. But there's other platforms on there that, while they're not as fun and they don't do such cool stuff, they don't waste your time and they won't really frustrate you. So thumbs down for Animaker. Sorry, guys. I know you're really looking forward to this video, but that is my honest opinion. And on top of that, like I talked about earlier, the tutorial is pretty much useless. I mean, it's really kind of gives you a hint about where to look for things, but otherwise you are on your own. So that is my video review for today. Kind of a dud, sorry. If you liked this video, or at least thought it was helpful and I kind of showed you why you might want to stay away from Animaker, or if you've been using it and you've been really frustrated by it and you thought it was maybe just you, just know you and I are both having this problem together. So like this video, subscribe to my channel. I've got other product reviews like this one in the works. So if you want to see more and you're still looking for something that's really great, keep watching my channel. I'll find it for you guys. And if there's anything else that you want me to take a look at, I know a lot of you have been asking me about Explain.io, and I'm going to try that one soon too. Just let me know in the comments, because I'm always looking out for platforms that you want me to review. So have a great week, and I'll see you next Monday.